In the quiet waters of New York Harbor, a silent figure rises. She does not speak, yet she tells a story known across oceans. For those arriving by ship, she was the first promise, a sign that the long journey had reached its end and that hope stood waiting on these distant shores.
Behind these walls, footsteps from many lands came together. Names were spoken, dreams were carried, and futures were decided. Ellis Island was not merely a building, it was a moment where the past was left behind and a new life quietly began. Stone by stone, steel by steel, a bridge was born. It joined two great lands, and with them, countless lives. Above the moving river, people walked forward, not only across the bridge, but toward a city still shaping its own destiny. Beneath a ceiling painted like the heavens, time flowed steadily. Trains arrived, trains departed, and lives moved in quiet rhythm. Grand Central was not a place of rest, it was a living pulse where journeys crossed and the city breathed. In an age of hardship, the city chose to rise. Hands lifted steel toward the clouds, and from the ground a giant took shape. The Empire State stood as proof that even in difficult times, ambition could still touch the sky. Long before lights filled the night, these streets were already alive. Voices echoed, streetcars passed, and the crowd never slept. Times Square was a meeting place where stories crossed paths and the city learned to recognize its own reflection. Here, words carried weight and silence carried consequence. Promises were spoken, fortunes were formed, and the course of a nation slowly took shape. Wall Street was not only about wealth, it was about direction, power, and responsibility. In the middle of stone and steel, a calm space remained. Carriages moved gently, leaves whispered in the air, and the city paused, if only for a moment. Central Park reminded New York that even the strongest city needs peace. Behind these doors, silence was respected and wisdom preserved. Books stood patiently, waiting for curious minds. The library was more than a building. It was a guardian of ideas, protecting knowledge for generations yet to come. From these streets rose rhythm, poetry, and soul. Music carried stories where words alone could not. Harlem became a voice, strong, proud, and unforgettable. Here, culture was not written in books, but lived, performed, and remembered.